just a very short overview what I'm going to do. We have 4 different chapters or sections. The first one is going a very short introduction on the demand for tickets, what it's about. Then I'll give some key facts on the survey itself, coming to the results in section 3, and finally an outlook and some implications from what we found out. And starting with the introduction. So according to Borland and McDonald's, they published a very nice paper a couple of years ago. There are several determinants on the demand for tickets in professional sport, and I would very short go through them. So the first one, of course, that's the individual preferences. So each of us has an other interest in certain kinds of sports, in professional football, cycling, whatever. So this is meant by individual preferences. The second aspect is the so-called economic determinants. Economic determinants cover micro as well as macroeconomic determinants. On the micro level, we have, for example, the availability of substitutes. So if you're interested in different kinds of sports, and there's a very good substitute for example, going to a football match, could be visiting an ice hockey match or whatever. And on the macroeconomic level, we are thinking of macro details like GDP growth, unemployment rate, the income level in a certain region or in a certain market. So that is meant by these macroeconomic determinants. Then we have 2 different dimensions of the quality. The first one on the right hand is the quality of the infrastructure. And I just remember when I arrived in France yesterday, it was raining cats and dogs, and standing in the rain and attending a football match is not that nice at all. So the infrastructure means that if you, for example, go to an ice hockey match in the wintertime, it's nice to have it in a hall, but not standing in the rain. That is meant by infrastructure quality. And the product quality, on the one hand, this reflects to a certain extent the level of the sports tournament. So are we talking of a major sports events or of a minor league event? And the second one is some other influencing factors, if you think of catering and stuff like this. So some services and goods that are connected with the sports event itself. And finally, the capacity. The capacity is quite important because we're dealing with a German sports club in this case. And regarding Bayern Munich, they have a capacity of, I think it's 65,000 attendances per match. And normally the stadium is sold out, so their attendance rate is 99 point something %. And there's a huge gap between demand and supply. So in fact, they could sell much more tickets for nearly every match at home than they are actually selling. And this gap between demand and supply leads to any gray and black market. And gray and black market, that is given on the next slide. When we talk about the ticket market itself, we have 3 different subgroups. The first one is the official ticket market. So clubs selling tickets to the fans, to the spectators, that's the easiest way. That's a so-called primary market. Then we have 2 different kinds of secondary markets. That's the unauthorized on the right hand and the authorized secondary market on the left hand. The unauthorized secondary market is nothing else than people standing in front of the stadium selling tickets by just raising their hands, and as well online platforms like eBay and stuff like this. So the unauthorized secondary market covers both. It's covering the light gray market, for example, people selling a ticket to friends and family, but it covers as well the black market or dark gray market of people seeking to make profit by selling tickets which they purchased at a lower price before. And on the left hand, we have the so-called authorized secondary market, and that's the goal of our survey. Authorized secondary market is the possibility of clubs selling or clubs providing technology, for example, an online platform. On this platform, people who have, for example, a season ticket and that are not able to attain a certain match, they can sell this ticket to another fan. They can purchase tickets from other season ticket holders and stuff like this. So authorized secondary market in this case means this is authorized by the club itself or by the football federation. A very short idea of the increasing ticket demand in Germany, focusing on the red line. The red line is showing the total attendance figures in German major leagues, so the Bundesliga in the last years, and it's more or less a steadily increasing trend. It's a little bit depending on the clubs that are playing in the Bundesliga at a certain period. So from time to time, there is a club promoting that has a lower capacity and the other way around. But generally, we have increasing attendance figures, and therefore the entire topic of black market and grey market sales is of increasing interest. What is the focal question of the survey? Focal question is, can authorized online markets fight or support the club's fight against black market and grey market sales? So on the one hand, we have the black and grey market that is of increasing importance due to this gap between supply and demand. On the other hand, clubs have a strong interest in fighting against black and grey markets for mainly two reasons. The first reason is clubs would like to ban violent fans and hooligans from going to the stadium. And the second reason is what we call social aspects. So especially regarding Bayern Munich and some other German football clubs, there are very cheap tickets. So you can go to the stadium for 10, 15 euro, which is quite cheap, especially if you compare it to the Premier League, for example. And these very cheap tickets are cross-subsidized by quite expensive tickets from the hospitality area, from the business seat area. And in case we have significant sales on the black and on the grey market, the clubs lose the control over the ticket price and over the ticket price structure. So that is one reason why the clubs have a strong interest in fighting against this black and grey market. So one additional aspect, any club that offers an online platform is able to gain additional revenues. So if you think of eBay, if you would like to sell anything on eBay, you have to pay a certain fee. That fee might be a flat fee for entering this marketplace, or it might be a fee that is depending on the turnover, on the sales price. That can happen in the same way if you think of a club offering this secondary online platform, this authorized secondary market. And the other goals, I already pointed them out, so I can do it quite short at this stage. Control over ticket prices, and finally, the aspect of safety patterns. Okay, coming to the survey itself. That's a screenshot from this official secondary market, from this online platform. And unfortunately, I do not have a laser pointer right here. But you can see we have on March the 2nd, which is today, the match Bayern Munich against Mainz. And you can buy tickets, you can sell tickets at the moment. The screenshot is a couple of days old. You have it in German, you have it in English. You need to register yourself. That is quite normal. And during the last season, several thousand tickets per match were traded and were sold and purchased using this online platform. So that's one of the advantages. If you work together with Bayern Munich, you have this online platform, and it's quite professional, and you've got significant sales on this platform. So it's not only 100 or 200 tickets that are sold each day, but a couple of thousand. Okay, some more facts about the survey itself. So the basic population would have been all fans of Bayern Munich visiting the stadium either regularly or from time to time. So of course we were not able to ask all of them. So the basic population is all fans. What we did is, in cooperation with Bayern Munich and with a couple of fan clubs, we used different ways. We contacted several fan clubs having more than 1,000 members. And two of these fan clubs sent an email to all of their members saying, okay, here's a survey, an online questionnaire. Please follow the link and ask and answer some questions on this official secondary market. Do you use it? Do you like it? What is the advantage of an online platform like this? What might be the disadvantage in comparison to eBay or to other online platforms? That was the first way, direct mailing. And the second way we used, in cooperation with the club and with some fan clubs, we used Xing and Facebook pages. Xing, for those who are not from Germany, that's the German LinkedIn network. So it's quite the same as LinkedIn, but it's very popular in Germany. And by doing so, we have a random sample of nearly 3,000 people that filled out the questionnaire, which is quite good. And it was done in summer last year, so from June 8th to the end of June. And I would like to come to some of the most important results. One remark, since this survey was done in cooperation with the club, I'm not allowed to tell you all the details. So there are some information which I must not tell in public, but which are given to the club itself. But I think some very interesting insights can be made public. And the first one is the following. Looking at the descriptive statistics, sorry. In fact, we have 3 different groups of people that participated in this questionnaire, in this survey, or at least it's more or less 2.5 groups. So the first one, I start at the bottom, that is called fans and visitors. We have a age of slightly above 30 years. We have some income data and so on. And these fans and visitors count for 733 people participating in the study. And then we have another very big group, that is the members on the right hand. And the members, that's more than 2,200 people answering the questions. The third one, the season ticket holders. In fact, the season ticket holders is a subgroup of the members. So just let me think, there were 24 people that could be classified as a season ticket holder, but which were not members of Bayern Munich as the club. So in fact, the season ticket holders is just with its 15.8%. It's just a subgroup of the big member group, being responsible for nearly 75% of the population. Just one remark at this point. If you look at the percentages, football, at least regarding Bayern Munich and season ticket holders and fans and members, is obviously a very male thing. So we have male ratios of roughly 90% in this sample. Okay, one of the first questions dealt with whether or not the people are aware of this official secondary market, of this online platform that is offered by the club. And we see a huge difference between the different groups. So putting together members and season ticket holders, we see that members and season ticket holders are aware of the official secondary platform at a percentage, something 85 to 90%. And the black market sales platforms, eBay and so on, are even a bit more popular. So we have figures above 90%. That is the gray column for the awareness of gray and black market possibilities to sell and to purchase tickets. That's somewhat different from the fans and visitors given on the right hand. So regarding the fans and visitors, the awareness of the Blay and gray market is nearly the same, so value of more than 90%, but the official secondary market, this online platform, is only known to roughly a bit more than 33% of all the people that participated in the survey. The 2 major aspects we try to figure out in this questionnaire is what factors make, what is important for people selling tickets and for people buying tickets using this online platform. And I would like to start off with the purchasing perspective. So the relevance of individual factors from the purchasing perspective. The red line depicts the results for fans and visitors, and the gray and the green line depict the results for our members and season ticket holders. As you can see, members and season ticket holders, that is very much the same, but you have some interesting differences between members and season ticket holders on the one hand, and the fans and normal visitors on the other hand. So generally, the use of an online platform is quite important. The use of an official platform is quite important for the members, but it's of less importance for those fans and visitors which are not members at the same time or which are not holding a season ticket. So, in case we have a higher commitment of individual fans, being, for example, a member of the club, we see that the use of an official platform is much more important for them in comparison to normal fans and visitors. The official price. Of course, each ticket was sold officially at a certain price by the club to the fan or to the visitor. And if you see the gray and the green lines, we have very significant influence of the official sales price for those people being members or season ticket holders. Regarding the normal fans and visitors, the official price is of less importance, and we depicted it with 3 stars, so this is highly significant between the several subgroups or the 2 main subgroups. Security, reliability, there is not that much difference. The same is valid for means of payment and ticketing terms and conditions, where the subgroups do not vary to that large extent. Okay, I've got to hurry up. When we change the perspective and go down to the people selling tickets, once again we can say, I would like to concentrate on the first thing. The sale to a fan, the fact that the ticket is sold to another fan, is very important for fans, for season ticket holders and members. It's of less importance for normal visitors. On the other hand, the maximum price is more important for those people that do not show this very strong commitment to the club itself. And coming to the focal question, can we fight grey and black markets by offering this authorized secondary market? The answer is no. It cannot be done, at least depending on the sample that we collected in cooperation with Bayern Munich. So I would like to start with hypothesis number 5. The frequent use of the official secondary market implies a less use of the black market. No. This hypothesis could not be found. So from our findings, from our random sample, we can say that people that are strongly committed to the club tend to use the official secondary market to a large extent, but the other way around, they do not show a minor or fewer use of other online platforms and of the unauthorized secondary market. So in general, one could say that having this official secondary market increases the willingness of fans and of visitors to sell their tickets on this market, but it does not reduce the willingness to act on the gray market and on the black market in general. Okay, due to the time, do I have another minute? Well, last minute, okay. Implication and outlook. I will focus on one box, on the top left box. The easiest way to fight a gray and black market from a club's perspective is quite easy done. You just need to increase the ticket price. So increasing the ticket price leads to a lower gap between demand and supply, and therefore you have lower incentives for black and gray market sales. Anyway, this is not following the club's ideas and the club's ideals. So therefore, other ways of fighting the black and gray markets have to be found. And one could be, for example, advancement of the official online ticket market. One part I'm not allowed to show in this conference is some facts and figures on the idea how much the consumers like the ticket market and what they dislike and what could be improved. So that is only valid, or that is only accessible for the club itself, but not in public. And hopefully we will find some ideas how to improve the official secondary market due to this data. So far, I've got a last slide. This is the last one. Thank you very much.